Hardly a day goes by now that we don't hear something about building a border wall, a barrier, or a fence with Mexico. There's no question where the politicians stand on it either. But what do the agents tasked with catching people who sneak across the border think? Tonight, the deputy chief of the Rio Grande Valley sector explains why he thinks a barrier is a critical first line of defense for the U.S. In the dead of night,
running over the levee.
Agents trek through a rain-soaked field.
We've got a camera that's pretty close that's trying to put eyes on the group.
You know, the other one continue. Come on, párate. We had a group of about 5 or 6 that crossed the river here real close to an area we call La Lombita. So far, the 2 apprehensions, Mexican males, 23 years old. So this is plays out every day, every hour.
Deputy Chief Raul Ortiz believes the others have likely made it to a nearby stash house like this one.
Let's go.
If they're not caught, he says, they will probably take off for cities far from the border and slip into American society. If a wall had been here to stop them, would it have made any difference?
Oh, certainly it would slow them down considerably. We probably have, just in this one station, 100 people crossing right now.
Where are they from?
Most of these individuals are from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador.
On the journey to the U.S., some are hurt. Many say they are raped. All are traveling for weeks through multiple countries to get here.
Buenas tardes.
Like the tens of thousands of others who will sneak around legal ports of entry this month, Oscar turns himself into Border Patrol and will seek asylum. Do you think you'll be deported?
¿Crees que te van a mandar para atrás a tu país?
No creo, no.
¿Por qué no?
30 o 25 años preso, pero no regreso para allá.
We're going to go north.
Those with criminal backgrounds run,
He was right in the same area, bro.
knowing they will likely be sent back to their home countries in Central America or elsewhere. Right now, we're standing underneath the bridge between the U.S. and Mexico. Agents say all of these people were brought here by smugglers. Right now, they're catching about 850 migrants every single day, a new record.
On average, we lose about 100 people every day that we can't account for. They get away from us.
To slow the 24/7 flow of illegal traffic, Border Patrol says it needs more feet on the ground, more technology.
So this particular group crossed in an area where our fencing ends.
And more wall.
And the smuggler knew that if they crossed at the end here, that they would be able to run as fast as they possibly can into these neighborhoods that are just behind us.
Ortiz recently made the case to President Trump.
Just yesterday, we apprehended 133 people from countries other than Central America and Mexico. That includes individuals from India, Pakistan, China, Romania, Ecuador, Nicaragua.
Calling a wall immoral and ineffective, Democrats are determined to stop it.
We're not doing a wall. Does anybody have any doubt that we're not doing a wall?
Still, construction is moving forward on 33 miles of new barriers Congress funded last year in the Rio Grande Valley.
I'm not a believer that you need to build infrastructure everywhere, but once we get the mileage of fencing that we're proposing to build down here, it's going to really divert that traffic out into our more remote areas where we like our chances.
What if you don't get it?
If we don't get it, we're going to be dealing with this problem for an awfully long time.
But both sides agree even a barrier along the entire U.S.-Mexico border won't stop everyone.
¿Por qué escogiste venir cruzar la frontera por el río en vez por una garrita?
Pensé que podía ser más fácil.
94% of my traffic happens on my west side, where I have very little infrastructure and almost no permanent technology whatsoever.
But on the east side of the valley, where there is already 35 miles of fencing up, agents say migrant activity drops to just 6%. As much of the debate rages on far from the southern border, President Trump's emergency declaration could free up money to build hundreds more miles of barrier here without approval from Congress. Ortiz challenges critics to walk just 1 mile in their shoes.
Do you feel like you're being treated fairly?
Well, right now I feel like, they're tying our hands, and we want to get to the point where, hey, we want to know that the rest of America has our back.
So which side is right about whether a barrier will work? Dr. Raphael Cohen of the nonpartisan think tank RAND Corporation says it's not a yes or no or even a one-size-fits-all answer.
So just because it's effective in that narrow area does not necessarily mean you're going to get an equivalent level of effectiveness if you were to, let's say, expand the wall throughout the entirety of the southern border. When does it work, and does it work relative to some of the other solutions out there, be it technological solutions, be it hiring more agents, and to get to that sort of more nuanced level of analysis.
Meanwhile, the Center for Immigration Studies, a conservative think tank, estimates each person who crosses illegally and their U.S.-born children cost taxpayers more than $94,000 each, which over the course of a decade, it says, would pay for the wall.